The first time Captain Reese called her saw her, the world went silent. The spaceport on Virax usually thundered with noise, cargo loaders screeching, merchants yelling prices, shuttles roaring as they lifted into the violet atmosphere. But when she stepped into the docking hall, even the chaos seemed to hush itself, as if afraid to intrude on her presence. She was enormous, at least 8 feet tall, scaled, winged, majestic and scarred. A long, pale slash of ruined flesh carved diagonally across her left cheek, running from eye ridge to jaw. It wasn't a mark she could hide. It was the kind of scar that turned heads, then made them look away in fear. Her species, the Drakari, valued physical perfection above almost anything. A single deformity, even a small one, could make you undesirable. But a scar like hers, it made her almost invisible in their society. A flawed scale, they whispered. A curse. She carried herself like she didn't care what anyone thought. But Reese recognized the way people walked when they were used to being stared at. The stiff shoulders, the controlled breathing, the constant awareness of eyes on your back. He knew, because he'd walked the same way after the war. Reese was leaning on his cane, waiting for the shuttle manifest when she approached the counter. The Drakari clerk wouldn't even look at her. "Your kind should use the service entrance," the clerk muttered. "You frighten the guests." She didn't bristle. She didn't snap. She only lowered her head slightly, wings folding tight. "I only need directions," she said softly. Her voice was deep but surprisingly gentle. "I was told my assignment was recorded here." "No assignment," the clerk said, "because no one wants a half-ruined Drakari guarding their ships." She shut her eyes. Only for a second. That was all Reese needed to see. He pushed away from the wall and stepped forward. "She's with me," he said. Both the clerk and the dragon woman turned to face him. The clerk looked annoyed. She looked stunned. Reese slid his military ID on the counter. Captain Reese Calder, retired. Earth Expeditionary Force. I'm hiring her as security for my cargo transport. Register it. The clerk swallowed hard. Humans had a reputation on Virax. Humans did not bluff. She doesn't even have a human-compatible contract badge. The clerk tried weakly. Reese tapped the metal cuff on his wrist. "She can use mine. Register it." The clerk registered it. When Reese turned back to the dragon woman, her golden eyes were wide, unblinking. "Why?" she whispered. Reese shrugged lightly. "Because you asked for help, and you didn't deserve the garbage he gave you." "But you don't know me," she said. "I know enough." She stared at him as if trying to understand something impossible. Then she bowed, her head deep, respectful, almost reverent. "My name is Surindra Vash," she said. "And I thank you." Reese smiled. "Then let's get to work." The trip to his transport ship took nearly an hour of navigating crowded terminals, supply tunnels, and a malfunctioning lift. Surindra said little, always walking a step behind him, always alert. But Reese saw the way people reacted to her. They recalled, muttered, stepped aside as if she were diseased. He could also see how it affected her small things, but visible if you knew how to look. The way her wings twitched, the tightness in her jaw, the constant downward flicker of her eyes. When they finally reached the hangar, Reese turned to face her. "You don't have to walk so far behind me," he said. "It is easier," she answered quietly. "For you?" "No," he said. "It's easier for them. I don't give a damn about them." She stared again. She did that often, studying him like he was some kind of anomaly. Humans, she murmured. You are strange. Good strange or bad strange? Good, she said softly. Rhys felt heat rise to his cheeks. Damn it. He wasn't some nervous cadet anymore. He led her into the ship, an old, Earth-class freighter he'd almost finished refitting. Surendra's wings brushed the doorway as she stepped inside, and she winced. Sorry, Rhys said immediately. It's not built for someone your size. I didn't think. It's fine, she said. But her voice wavered. You okay? She hesitated, then slowly knelt so her head wasn't near the ceiling. You spoke to me, she said. You protected me. No one has done that in a very long time. He sat on a crate across from her. What about your own people? She touched the scar on her cheek. Her clawed fingers trembled. This mark is shameful, she whispered. Not because of the wound itself, but because of how I earned it. She closed her eyes. I saved a clutchling during a firestorm. The child lived. I did not come out. Perfect, Rhys blinked. You were injured saving a child. Yes, and they ostracized you because of it. Yes, well, Rhys said after a long silence, your people are idiots. She choked on a laugh. A real laugh, deep, rolling, slightly smoky. It filled the whole ship, warming it more than the old heaters ever could. You are the first to say that, she said with a smile. I won't be the last, he promised. Her gaze softened. Something unspoken lingered in the air, warm, electric, almost frightening. She looked away first. They worked together for the next 3 days fixing wiring, hauling crates, modifying the ship's shield matrix. Rhys quickly discovered that Surendra was strong, intelligent, and absurdly patient with machinery. He also discovered she had a sense of humor sharp enough to cut steel. She discovered that humans cooked tiny food, that Rhys slept with a blaster under his pillow, and that he winced every time his old war wounds flared up. He didn't hide the pain, and she didn't hide her concern. On the 4th night, Rhys tried to stand after adjusting a plasma conduit. His knee almost buckled. He grabbed a railing. Saryndra was beside him instantly. You are hurt, she said. Not a question. He forced a smile. Old injury. Nothing new, that is not an answer. It's the only one I've got tonight. Her eyes glowed softly. Sit, bossy, he muttered. She carefully lifted him and set him on a crate. He was painfully aware of how strong she was, and how gentle. Your body should not suffer alone, she said. Not when I am here. Something in her voice made his heart thump harder. Why do you care so much? She looked away, scales darkening, triggery blushing. Because, she whispered, the first moment I saw you, you did not look at my scar. You looked at me, Rhys swallowed, and, he asked, and I fell in love with you then. The air vanished from his lungs. She stood, suddenly tense. If this is unwelcome, he reached out and touched her clawed hand gently. It's not unwelcome, he said softly. But I don't want you to feel like you owe me anything. I do not love out of debt, she said. I love because you saw worth in me when no one else did. Because you speak to me like I am whole. You are whole, he said. Her wings fluttered in surprise, Rhys continued, voice low, steady. You saved a child. You endured cruelty. You kept going. That doesn't make you flawed. That makes you extraordinary. She didn't breathe for several seconds. Then she lowered herself until they were eye level. Her forehead gently touched his. a Drakari sign of devotion. "You honor me," she whispered. "You deserve it." Reese called her. She murmured, "I would protect you with my life." Reese smiled softly. "And I'd do the same for you." The next morning, the spaceport authorities came to revoke Surendra's contract, claiming she was dangerous. Reese stepped between them. "You want to take her?" He said, "You go through me." The guards hesitated. Humans had that effect. Surendra moved behind him, wings spreading wide not in fear, but in fierce loyalty. Together, they were unstoppable. The guards left without another word. After they were gone, Surendra looked at Reese with something blazing in her eyes. "You defended me," she said. "Always." She exhaled slowly. "Then wherever you go, I go." He took her hand. "Welcome aboard," he said. And though the galaxy was vast and cruel and filled with those who saw only her scar, Surendra no longer walked alone. She walked with the human who looked at her and saw beauty, and she loved him for it.